As a group owner, there's a lot of responsibilities in a lot of ways to the members, but sometimes members, once they become educated in the scam education industry, some can become a bit cocky, some need to move on to start their own groups, and other ones are just out to stir trouble. Um, Most people open up their groups in the aim of educating people about scams. Along the way, the members seem to learn about scams themselves. Yeah, yippee! But at the same time, their anger starts diverting from the scam mission to other members, because what people are looking for in groups is called entertainment. And when they're not getting entertained, then they get a little bit frustrated about that group. Like sending little teddy bears and little sayings underneath and so on and so on. You know, most of us are all human behind these addies and faces and whatever. We're human people who have human emotions. Some people need to be moved on in scam education groups because they've got what they needed to get and they're just idling. That means that they're just sitting around waiting for something to happen or some new fantasy thing. So some people, they go and join other groups and then they come back to your group and say, well, this group said this, and then some people will follow and they'll go to that other group and they'll come back and this person said this, and then da 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 da, back and forwards. And eventually, sometimes as an owner, people will try to drag you into their dramas from another group. Sometimes you want to try to address it, but unfortunately when you do address these issues, sometimes they drag you into it and then you become the bad guy, because you said something and then they run back to the other group and said this person said da 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 da. It's a never-ending rotating circle. Um, the the idea of a group is to share in a group information or learn information. But a group can finish by a click of a button, no more. A lot of scam education groups that used to be around aren't around anymore. Why? Because of the members. Certain members have tried to have them closed down, or they felt offended by the information, so they reported them to Facebook, YouTube, all that sort of shit. Um, you know, they get offended by content. If you talk about a woman and a vagina, a homosexual in the group probably got offended because you said vagina. So they'll report that as a violation. And you'll wonder who the hell reported me, for talking about something or a joke or whatever may be, and it was that person that you'd least expect, who says they were scammed, but they don't say who by. Well, they don't tell you they had a homosexual scam. Groups tend to be aggressive if you're dealing with scammers on a daily basis. The owners, certain people who are scam baiting or collecting the information, need to be aggressive because aggression is productivity sometimes. But people just do not realise that running groups is not easy. Sharing the information and collecting information is not easy. People, I advise them, if they're getting too big for their boots, time to move on, enjoy your next group or set up your own. And if you want to sit around blaming me for saying this or that, or booting a member out and you didn't like it, and no. Well, my job here isn't to baby you. When you came into the group, you needed help. So what I did was advise you on the help that you needed. But as a group owner, my job is not to baby you. Sometimes women in groups, they like to mother other women, help heal them, or mother other men who go in there, um, and help them heal too. But also, you must remember, when you're dealing with certain groups, you're dealing with criminals, criminal activity. They're discussing criminal activity. They're dealing with criminal activity. Criminals come and join in their groups under different addies and pretense, to collect information and try to do the reporting and have them shut down, or try to stir up information, which actually can stir up some members who are not as mentally strong as others. And here we go. We're on a roller coaster ride. Yeah, like that. So running groups is not as easy as it looks. I run mine in a different way because I've learnt from many different mistakes. I sometimes get dramas, and I get sometimes queers on there saying, "Are you gay?" You know, things like that. But they hadn't read the information to see that I'm already married, and this is how I got married from after being scammed. I did meet a girl after being scammed. I did start a relationship after being scammed. Some of them, in some scam help groups, they were scammers in there, trying to keep me away from the the real people who weren't scammers, and they've done their fucking job. I did get scammed, re-scammed again by members who I thought were trusted members in a group. That's why sometimes you need strong members and ones who have knowledge, who understand that this can happen, that in their group, that some of their trusted members, not all, probably 1% out of 100 could be that scammer or have motives for removing men off your site, or removing the women off your site and bringing them to their site. Um, I've seen this many times. I've had to make a lot of decisions and remove 20 members at once. Oh gee, that's a big bulk removal. Yes, it was a big bulk removal, but that actually solved the problem that was going on. That everyone thought they could run the group better, and this group's saying this, and you're doing this, and we heard this, and yep, fair enough. All right, goodbye everyone. I'll start again. I'll start a new group. Um, and that sometimes has to happen, not always. It's, you get to, bring some of your old members back if they want to rejoin. If they don't, big deal, and they're going to have a bit of a bitch and a whine for a while that they have no entertainment place to go to. The scam education sites are not made for entertainment. They're made for education. They're made for reporting scammers. They're made for not putting up with bullshit. Um, it's, this is a universal post, and I'll post this one in one group that's having a bit of a hard time. But each group is made differently. They're the same sort of targets, but their missions are different. You've got, I name myself Scam Baiters United Professionals, only for the thing is that people who come on my group need to be united and professional about their behaviour. If you want to behave like a rat bag and a little kid, goodbye. I mean, I don't mind pushing that goodbye button. And I really don't have any, like guilt trips that I've done that. There's, in one group that I post in, there's one man who gets totally offended and all that sort of stuff. I think that the bloke seriously is mentally disturbed in a way that I think that he has gay issues. But women seem to sometimes crowd around those people and offer them support. where I don't, because I'm dealing with criminals. This is the way the language is. This is the way I speak about it. Um, if you don't like me saying that there is fat women in groups and fat men that are in groups, and you feel offended by the word fat, well, you know, you're not old enough to be listening to these posts. If you're offended by hearing fat or criminal or you know, retarded, scammers, you know, or whatever may be, that's, you know, everything in the scam game is a typing game in most cases, and it's who can come up with the best words. Um, I just tell people to sit back, enjoy, relax, enjoy the words when you've had enough of them, and you know, you think that the person on the other end has vented enough, leave it there for a half hour, 10 minutes, whatever time period, then it's time to remove it, move on with your mission of busting scammers. Some people in the scam industry have breakdowns, or some people who join your group may have psychological problems or had psychological problems before they joined your group. Sometimes they may need removing. Sometimes they may be told, I will moderate your posts, but please seek help outside of a group, of this group, because we are not qualified to deal with this or that issue. Um, you know, you might get offended by that, but you know, you're actually being told to go and seek help, go and see someone outside off the computer, off the cyber world. Well, if that has to happen too. Um, some years ago, I took up counselling. I've got, you know, my certificates to do holistic counselling, but I don't tell people all the time that, because what do they want to do? Dump. Really, you know, I don't mind listening to a scam story, but some people just like to dump. I mean, they want to talk about what happened when they were 5 with Uncle Peter behind the woodshed and this, that. That's nothing to do with the scam that you went through. Um, you know, I appreciate what you went through. I respect that, you know, it's pretty hard and you don't like Uncle Peter anymore. But, you know, that's with, you've got to deal with that away from um, the group. You know, because other people probably got the same problem. Our topics will just go focusing back into you and Uncle Peter, and someone else will say Uncle Peter done the same thing too at age, you know, 12. Oh geez, here we go. And then the whole mission is all off track for the next 2 weeks. And then when it gets back on track, people are wondering why the owner's not being sympathetic. Well, the owner is actually running a scam group, not an actual healing site for Uncle Peter. File. So anyway, I'm just sort of having my rant for today that scam groups are made for, you know, scam education groups are made differently. I mean, I don't get along with all groups. I know from some experiences what some groups are like. I don't get along with them. I don't discuss them unless it has to come up. But I'll discuss all about what I think or what I see as that scam help group doing. I don't go into these groups. Some people go into different groups and try to rescue members and try to pull them from one paddock to the other. Um, I don't see that a point either of doing that, because you know, my job as a scam educator isn't to save everyone, it's to educate everyone when possible. I got, you know, probably 200 videos out on scams on YouTube. Other sites, I've got education, you know, information on other sites under different names, different, um, you know, things like either type or verbal or whatever may be. And I've got people who hate me guts. Oh well, that's the way it is too. They never met me, but they hate my guts. That. So, or they didn't like something that I said and it triggered them off, or I said it the wrong way and it needed to be rephrased, or I had a spelling error which would change the meaning of something. Oh well, what do you expect for the internet? The groups, I've had members try to shut my groups down. I've been reported so many different times on different groups. Um, I've had violations and warnings and second warnings. One time I'd done a drawing. This might give you an idea. One time I'd done a drawing of a woman had who had been in a scam education group. I showed a drawing on the internet of the girl who was on the date site scamming. The girl who was in the scam education group who was out scamming saw that photo and contacted YouTube and said that photo looks like me. He does not have a right. No, it was actually the drawing. Does not have a right to use that photo or that drawing. Show it as a photo, but use that drawing. And I got that drawing removed because it was a violation of a person's privacy. Now, I got warned, and not to do that again. It's a community violation through drawing someone else's face, or that the face was similar. It's crazy, but that's how groups get shut down. There's a lot of groups now that aren't open, is because a lot of the members or members at the time decided to either hijack the group or have it closed down. So what's going on in the background? I'll tell you. You think you've got the group closed down. You think you've done a lot of warnings on them, but I'm going to tell you something. Us scam baiters and scam educators go underground. You'll never know who we are. We just go underground. We don't educate the public on top. We leave that to someone else. They can use our information that we taught you, but we go underground. And there's a whole big network of underground scam baiters and scam educators who bust criminals. Hope that offends someone.